Well, hey everybody. Today is Friday. It's July 17th. It is day two of the British Open, aka the Open Championship. But it's the British Open. Um, it sure seemed to be an interesting day. I didn't watch all of it. I listened to a lot of it. I was busy doing other things. Made a trip to the bead store this morning, um, trying to find if I can put together a bead for a particular project I've been working on that I was hoping I would be able to get it from her, but she didn't have it. But she has amazing beads in her store, and I think I'll be able to piece together a lot of really fun projects. I'm really enjoying the beadworking stuff. Today, let me see if I can find it over here real quick. And maybe not. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, one of my projects is, just in case you didn't know, I'm somewhat of a Grateful Dead. Let me just put this right back up there. Thanks. I'm going to figure all this out. In case you didn't know, I'm somewhat of a fan of Grateful Dead collaborative music that just, the worst thing about it is that it stops at some point. Went to two Dead and Company shows here at the Spear. They were outstanding. I don't know what John Mayer is going to do without Bob Weir as far as bringing them back on the road, but I saw where he's going on the road. So that should be pretty interesting to see who joins up with them. But anyway, I enjoyed the Grateful Dead a lot. The shows at the Spirit Dead and Company were outstanding. I decided I'm going to make some Grateful Dead bracelets. So here is one of the results. Let me see if I can turn it the right way. We'll just flip it that way. Nope, that ain't it. Oh, goodness gracious. All right, we'll get there. We'll get there. There it is right there. Sue. Nope, that's not it either. Try that way. All right. There we are. So that's my project is I'm trying to get to the point where I can custom make some bracelets. This one in particular would be for me or anyone else that's a Grateful Dead fan. So I did with the red and white. I got three Grateful Dead logos on there. And that's a project I'm trying to create where I can make these, I can sort of steal some logos and make beads out of them. So we'll see how that goes. So far, so good. It's a little frustrating because my supplies come from Florida. Great guy named Brian. He's well, he calls himself the token hobbyist. He's making my decals for me, and then I have to get the parts from China. But I think I might have mentioned that before. But again, so far so good. I'm enjoying the process, and enough about that. Yesterday, on yesterday's video, I mentioned that Elizabeth called, and which was amazing because, as I mentioned yesterday, no one ever calls me. So that was quite. It came up at Christina's phone number, and I'm going, wow, that's something that never happens, which is quite unfortunate. But that's everybody's choice. I'm always here. I love being around people, and I love my girls. I love Kim. You know, and it's just this is how life has presented itself. But one of the things that Elizabeth mentioned that I forgot to mention yesterday, she had watched a video about the electric car, and she goes, "Daddy, I don't remember that car." And I said, "Well, Elizabeth, we got it in 1992. You were all but 5 years old, so it's understandable if you don't remember it." And she got a little upset about that. I'm not quite sure why. I think I'll probably give Kim a buzz either later tonight or tomorrow and just sort of let her know that Elizabeth's upset about that. But it was great that she called. I enjoyed talking to her. She's just such a amazing young lady that lets nothing get in her way. You know, go in, go under, go around, and go through anything that gets in your way. She just buzzes right on through it. So I thought I'd come back and mention that. Um, and then the other thing, poker wise, um, try not to talk about the game too much, but um, I mentioned to a guy sitting to my right or to my left recently there were some really drunk, inebriated, somewhat acting quite immature players in the room I was in recently. And I leaned over to him. I said, "You know what? I think I have discovered exactly what the fountain of youth is." He goes, "Really?" I said, "Yeah, alcohol." But then it sprung up a memory that I, in fact, have a bottle of water, a little bitty bottle of water from the Fountain of Youth, Ponce de Leon Fountain of Youth in St. Augustine, Florida. My great friend Sandy came to visit, and we did the St. Augustine tour. And part of the tour was you stop at the Fountain of Youth and have yourself a cup of water. I will have to say that I wish the water tasted somewhat better than it did, but we did bring a bottle home per se. Light's reflecting it again. So that's pretty much it for today. Not an awful lot going on. Um, Again, my life pretty much, as far as my social life goes, is in the poker rooms, at the poker table. I enjoy my neighbors here a lot. Uh, just different schedules and things like that, and and I'm the single guy, and that works out just fine for me. I'm really enjoying my making these bracelets. I just got to figure out what the heck I'm going to do with them. They're starting to pile up, and but there was a guy at our table last night, and um, he was sort of got into the mode. This is after he was about $1,800 into the game. I won a pot, and he just criticized me for not making enough on the pot because I chose not to bet big enough for his taste. And generally, when people do that, I'll reply, "Well, do you teach golf too?" I'm always anxious to learn. And he goes, "Well, yeah, I probably could teach us a golf because, quote unquote, I'm a former professional baseball player." I just sort of left it at that, because again, it goes back to the old saying, and I think I mentioned it today. I thought it was Rich Beam that came up with the saying, "If you got to tell someone how good you are, you're probably not good enough." It's actually Ben Curtis, after he won the British Open in his first appearance, the Open Championship in his first appearance, and he was interviewed, and part of the answer was, "Well, if you have to tell someone how good you are, you might not be good enough." And so this guy's just going on and on. Anyway, he went on a heater. He was getting a lot of his money back, and I just decided I'm not going to hang around to see the results, although their great promo is still going on. And even though I hate to chase promos, I hate to be away from them, but here I am today on a Friday night, and I did not play poker today. I just sort of sat back and relaxed because tomorrow I am so excited. 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, I have my postponed first video editing tutoring session. Looking forward to it because I really want to make these things look better. I want to pop up some pictures here and maybe do some B-rolls and do some stuff with my camera while I'm out and about. I just want to make this more of what I enjoy when I'm watching YouTube videos, and see if I can present things a little bit better, a little bit more entertaining per se. Because I have a lot of stories to tell. I have a lot of stories, and if you know me, and I'm leaving out a story that you know about that hasn't recalled out of my 70 plus year old brain, then please let me know. And as soon as you say it, I'll remember it. That part I can guarantee you. Anyway, have a great day. Have a great Saturday. I will give you an update on my video editing experience tomorrow, and we'll see what's going on. Thank you for watching. If you want to reach out to me, leave a comment. I will reply, or you can email me at 10301don@gmail.com. We'll see you later.